Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Minecraft. Now, I just want to say, what happened? Because seriously, I have not made very many Minecraft videos. I made like 2, and the 2 that I made have gotten more views than the entire rest of my channel combined. I believe my most recent video got 5,000 views, compared to my other videos, which usually get around 8 views, and I don't need Albert Einstein to tell me that 5,000 is bigger than 8. So, if you guys really like my Minecraft content, I'll do more of it. I will absolutely do more of it, and I would like to say thank you all for the support you have been showing. What you're going to want to do if you want to visit the prison is you're going to need to, first off, you're going to need to schedule a visit in advance, and there's a reason for that, but you need to schedule it in advance. Then what you do is, after you schedule it, you'll come over here, and you will bring this doorbell. This is just a simple doorbell. And then on the inside of the prison, you have a guard in this room right here. It's a pretty small room, but it has a little machine right here, but there are also some levers. We'll get to those in a moment. So you ring the doorbell, these light up, and the note blocks play a little sound so that the guard knows that someone is trying to visit. And he would look and he would see if the person visiting matches the person who made the appointment, and if they do, he'd flick that lever and that would open the door right here. So now the visitor is going to come on through, and when the visitor visits, the guard, he'd press this and he'd look through and he would check to see. Basically, this is just a way of him checking to see if there are any people who are using invisibility potions to sneak in alongside the visitor, because we don't want that. Then what he does is he closes up the door, and he flicks this, and as you can see, the door is closed, and the portal right here is now open. So then the visitor would come along through here, and he would go to the portal. And he comes in, and he sees the guard. Hello there, Mr. Guard. Yeah, the skeleton is the guard. I don't have a high budget for this. I can't hire people. I'm alone. I don't have any friends, so I can't hire anyone to do this for me. So you're just going to need to use the power of imagination. So as soon as the guard sees the visitor come through the portal, he would walk in over here and he would retrieve this key card, and that's just a simple closing mechanism to prevent the portal from remaining open, and it's a locking mechanism by placing blocks in the way that would prevent the portal from being opened. So then what the guard would do is he would ask the visitor to put all of their stuff in this shulker box right here, and the visitor would put whatever they had in the shulker box, and then they would press this button, and that pushes the shulker box down deep somewhere into the bowels of the prison, and it will be returned to the visitor at a later date. So then the guard would ask the prisoner to stand on this sea lantern right here. So then what the guard would do is, while the prisoner is standing on that sea lantern, the guard would take a password book, plop it right there, and the prisoner gets pushed into this room right here. And then this door opens up, and the prisoner runs through. Visitor, not prisoner. The visitor walks through the door into this hallway, and then he waits right here. Meanwhile, what the guard does after he puts the book in there, after that stuff is going on, the book pops up, the guard grabs it again, but then this door opens up, and the guard would walk through this door, and he would stand right here, and the visitor would show up right there. So then, what the guard does is, while the visitor is down there waiting, he checks to see if he sees any potion effects. If he doesn't, then he presses this button, and that creates this. It activates this hallway. It's basically just a moving room type situation, and that's just a precaution against people sneaking in with invisibility. This is another precaution against people sneaking in with invisibility. Press the button, floor goes down, they get lit on fire. Now anyone who was hiding invisibly is lit up with fire, and the guard can see them. So then, if there aren't any, he flicks this lever, piston door opens, the visitor shows up in this room, closes the door, and then, once again, there is one of these hallways, and they both walk on through it. And then this room right here, it's a pretty simple, pretty small room, just a 4x3, 2-block tall room, covered in netherite. Not much that the visitor can do. However, the room hides a couple of secrets. So firstly, what the guard does is he flicks this lever, and that opens up this little passageway right here. And you can see there's actually a respawn anchor right there. And that respawn anchor is very important. So, after seeing the respawn anchor pop up, the visitor would right-click to set their spawn, and the guard would flick that lever yet again to close it off. He would then flick that lever, then he walks over here, presses that button. Right here is it fills the room with lingering potions of harming, and that is going to basically, this is just a kill check for the visitor to ensure they're not sneaking in any items that they kept instead of putting it in the shulker box back that way. So after that, the guard would flick this lever, he'd walk over here, press this button, that just opens up a simple piston door, and then he would walk through here till he gets to this place. This is just a little keycard reader where he needs to put in a keycard, then he presses the button, the block slides out, and then he pops back on. Now we're in a simple one block area, and this is where he can refill the respawn anchor, but it is important to only refill it by one. So then he moves on over here, presses this, that opens a simple door, and then he walks in through, and now there is the visitor waiting room right there, and this is the guard side of the waiting room. So next, what happens is the guard will put a keycard right into this machine, and that opens up that door right over there, and the visitor would walk through it. Then he would take the keycard back, and now it's locked. You can't put the keycard in. So then he opens up this door, and now they are both in this room. And this is where this is why it's important for you to schedule a meeting in advance, because what's going to happen in this room is the guard, you can see he has a little chest down there, and what that chest is for is so that he can give the visitor a little piece of paper. So what he would do is he would give the visitor a paper, just a simple piece of paper, unnamed, and what the visitor would do is he would take it out of the chest, and then he would walk on over to this anvil, and he would rename it. So, yep, the visitor would just put in whatever the code of the day was. The codes are rotated on a day-to-day basis. This is just an extra security measure. Then the guard would take it, and he would put it into this, and he would press the button, and that would open the door right there, and then he would take it back, and then the door closes, and then he would walk through this door, and now he and the visitor are both in this final room. So next, the final thing for them to do in this room is that the guard just plops a keycard right in here, presses the button, and that opens up for the visitor to walk through, and then he retrieves his keycard. The guard puts the visitor through here. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, it's a dead end. But it's not, actually, because the guard grabs his keycard, puts it right there, then it opens up this hallway. Then he retrieves his keycard from here, and they move along, and then the guard places another keycard right in there, and retrieves his keycard, and now they are actually in the prison. So what these are little, basically, containment units for the visitor, so that, because you can't respawn trap people in the nether, because beds, they explode, they don't let you respawn in here. So what I've done is I've made these little containment units, and the guard would take the visitor in through one of these portals, and they would arrive in this little space. And what this space is, it's where the containment unit is. So the guard flips this off, and then he'd break the cobblestone, and then he would have the visitor set his respawn point in that bed. Then he would turn that on, and that's just some regenerating cobblestone. What that means is now, when the visitor respawns, if he is killed at any point in his visit, he would not respawn here, he would actually respawn right here, in this room. And this, it's a pretty simple 3x3x3 obsidian chamber with a bit of crying obsidian for light. And this is just an extra security measure so that if the visitor is killed at any point during his visit, the guard knows where to find him. So now, after they have set the visitor's spawn point, we move along to this place. And this part is where the guard would give the visitor a potion of fire resistance. And then the visitor would walk through this lava, and he would stand on this flying machine. The guard would grab a fireproof keycard. I've just used an enchanted netherite ingot, and then he would throw it into that lava right there. And what that does is it sends the flying machine across. So then, after the guard sends the visitor through that lava, he'd walk over to this lava and throw another fireproof keycard in. And this teleports him right here to the control room via an ender pearl stasis chamber with all of the other guards. Pretend these are the other guards. Now, I know what you're thinking. But wait a minute. Top Hat. Ender pearl station chambers require water. You can't get water in the nether. That's illegal. And you're right. However, here's the thing. In a past version of Minecraft, there were glitches that allowed you to get water in the nether. So all you need to do is set your version of Minecraft to a past version, then you're just able to get some of the water in that version of Minecraft, and then come back to this version and build the rest of the prison, and bam, you now have an ender pearl stasis chamber in the nether. Alternatively, if you want the easier route, you can just use cheats. So, what he would do upon his arrival here is he would just the stasis chamber up for later. And you may notice there are quite a few buttons. We'll get to what those do in a moment. But the guard in here also, he is absolutely stacked in terms of resources. Yeah, and also, this armor, it's some pretty good armor, I must say. Soul Speed 3 on a helmet. Perfectly legitimate. You know, just put the helmet on your feet. You'll run faster. Okay, so now what does this look like from the visitor's perspective? Well, as soon as he crosses the lava area, he will walk through here, and he ends up right here with another guard waiting for him. And then he steps on these pressure plates, and that sends the flying machine back across. He's in here with another guard, and the guard tells him to put a pearl in an ender pearl stasis chamber. Then the guard also puts an ender pearl in an ender pearl stasis chamber. Okay, so after the guard and the visitor put their pearls in their ender pearl stasis chambers, they would walk on over here, over to this platform, and this is where they would wait a moment for the lava wall to come down. And now, how does the lava wall come down? Well, that happens with the guy in the control room. So, now that the lava has all come down, you will see that there is quite a large pit. What's going to happen now is the guard and the visitor, they're going to be waiting on this platform. As the platform moves forward towards where the actual prisoner's cell is, across this large pit. And when it arrives, the door automatically opens, and the flying will then go backwards. The door will also automatically close. So now what happens is the guard and the visitor are standing in this room, and the guard would have the visitor stand right in here, in this little area. Then the guard flips this switch, and that door opens, and the visitor falls through. And then the guard does the same, and he jumps down, and the door closes behind them. So now they are here, and they are in this room. So now what happens is the guard starts with the upper gate, he presses the open button, and right there, the upper gate, it opens. So as you can see, the upper gate is open. So next, the guard would have the visitor jump on through here. So now the visitor is standing right here. And then he closes the upper gate right there, and he also opens the lower gate. So now that the visitor has arrived here, and we know that this basalt is regenerating, so suppose someone were to manage to somehow sneak in an efficiency 5 netherite pickaxe, and remember, this is efficiency 5, this is the fastest pickaxe in the game. Would they be able to get through this basalt? Short answer, absolutely not. Because remember, this is an efficiency 5 netherite pickaxe. Look how long it is taking me to mine even one block of this basalt. Even one block, another block is going to get pushed into place to take its place, and I don't make any progress. And remember, this is with an efficiency 5 netherite pickaxe. Imagine how long it would take to mine this basalt with your bare hands. So, on the other end of the basalt is the prisoner himself. He's here in this cell. It's dug into the nether ceiling through a bedrock deletion glitch with a little, you can find a video on how to delete bedrock on YouTube. You can just search them up. It's a pretty simple machine. You just dig out a little hole. It has to be at least 2 blocks deep. So right now the prisoner, he has no blocks. He can't break this. He can't break the bedrock. There's no way for him to escape this on his own, and there's no way for anyone to get into him. So what happens when it's finally time for the visit to come to an end? Well, then here, the guard in the control room, here, he presses the final room teleport button, and that teleports the guard who went with the visitor into the prisoner's cell back here into this room, and then he flips this lever, and that teleports the visitor back in. So then what happens is the guard back here in this control room will press this main area teleport button, And he gets teleported right here, above yet another inner stasis chamber, into this little obsidian room. He walks over here, presses this button, that retracts a little bit of the ceiling, and then the ceiling comes back into place, and now he is back here in this room. So then what happens is he grabs a fireproof keycard, sends it across. Now the flying machine goes across. The visitor would get on. The guard would actually stay in this room, stay here, but the visitor would be on the flying machine as it went across and arrived back here. So now the visitor is with the guard on this end, and the guard would take the visitor. He would grab a keycard, toss it right there, and he would arrive right here in this room. And in this room, there's this area. This area is actually where the exit portal is hidden. But you'll notice there are netherite blocks in the way, which prevent anyone from actually opening the portal. So what the guard needs to do is flip off this exit portal lock, and that just simply retracts these netherite blocks, which allows a portal to be formed here. So then, now that the netherite blocks are out of the way, the guard lights the portal, he sends the visitor through, he would break the portal after the visitor went through, and what happens on the visitor's end is after he finds himself in this building right here, this is the exit building, and his stuff is returned to him at a later date. So yeah, that is everything. I would like to thank you all very much for watching, as well as for the support you have all been showing me on my recent videos. I really do appreciate it. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, giving it a subscribe, hitting all the buttons that help me. It really helps support the channel, and it just numbers make my brain go burr. So with that out of the way, I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye!